Gather round, kids, and hear a tale. Once upon a time, there was a wise, very powerful king who had control of all things. And this king created beings. This king created beautiful, flawless creatures, three of which were his head lieutenants that took care of his day-to-day things. One took care of communications, one took care of, battle and preparations and keeping everything strong, and the other one was in charge of light. The other one was in charge of making everything look beautiful, look flawless. He was the guardian of light, it could say. And things were happy in this kingdom. Things were good. The beings that lived there were content. But it turned out that that guardian of light, that lieutenant, thought that he could do a better job than the king at ruling. And this lieutenant became jealous of the king. And this lieutenant mustered and marshaled the forces of 1/3 of the entire kingdom to revolt and to rebel against the mighty king. But the mighty good king was able to marshal his forces, and with the help of his lieutenants, and with the help of his 2/3 of the kingdom that stayed loyal, they were able to repel the attacks and the attempted coup of the evil lieutenant. And the evil lieutenant and his 1/3 of the entire population of this kingdom were cast out of this kingdom into a very dark place, because that they had done so much evil and wrought so much evil upon this good kingdom. And over the years and over the spaces of time, this king really felt a need to share his generosity and his goodness and his love with a new kind of being, a new kind of creature that could make decisions, a new kind of creature that could give love and could receive love. So he crafted a whole new home, even outside of this kingdom, a whole new home for these creatures. And he created these creatures out of the dust of the earth. And these creatures he loved very much. He only created one to start out with. But then he realized that that one was lonely. So he created a second. And the two of them were very happy together. And these two creatures on this brand new world explored and learned and were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But the good king was well aware that the evil lieutenant was still plotting, still scheming to overthrow the good kingdom. So he warned these creatures, he warned his new creations, that there were many things, many things, all things that you could do. But keep in mind that there is an evil that I want to protect you from. And as long as you are able to resist doing this one thing and engaging in this one evil, you'll be protected. But these creatures were fallible creatures. These creatures were prone to making mistakes. And as decision turned out, the lieutenant that had done so much evil showed up. And that lieutenant deceived these creatures into doing the one thing that the king commanded them not to do, for their own protection, for their own good. And because of that, the creatures could not live in that paradise that the good king had created for them. And they were cast out, because they were not worthy to be in such a perfect place. But the good king still loved them, and the good king still wanted the best for them. And the good king promised that because they made one big mistake, that he would find a way to make one big solution. So, many years passed, and those creatures had children, and those children had children, and those children had children had children. And after many years, it turned out that that one big solution happened to be one of their great grandchildren. Because this child was different. This child was born not just like any other creature. This child was born with a spark of the great king himself inside him. He was part creature, definitely, but he also was part let's just say he was of the other kingdom. And as that creature, as this very special son of the king, grew up, he realized his true purpose. But he realized that this true purpose would come at a very great cost, because the only way to fix one huge mistake is by sacrificing to create one huge solution. And this good son, this very, very special creation, was willing to do that. And he was most certainly tempted. He was most certainly directly confronted by this evil commander. But he was able to resist, because he was not just a creature. He was of the kingdom. But in the end, this great, great creature did the one thing that he did not have to do. Every other creature had deserved death. Every other creature was flawless, was flawed. Every other creature deserved punishment. But this one creature had done nothing wrong. So he decided that he was going to do the one thing that would cause that great solution to take place. And he paid the price, so that all other creatures could enjoy the same kind of citizenship of the kingdom as he did. And he passed away, and he gave his life so that all the other creatures could enjoy that paradise. But the paradise was not to be immediate. The connection was restored immediately, but the paradise was to be postponed. And several years after his life was given, and he went away, this great son returned. And this great son was able to rescue the world from their difficulties. This great son was able to lead the armies of good, lead all the creatures of good against the legions of evil. And they were able to defeat them. They were able to overcome. And together those forces of good, whether they were sinful and forgiven, or good the whole time, like some of the original members of the kingdom, they were able to overcome. And they were able to restore that perfect peace and that perfect order and that flawless, beautiful paradise that the good king had always wanted for his children, for his creatures. And they truly did live happily ever after. That is your story. What do you think of it? This is Jonathan Reichel. God bless you guys.